Hi, my name is Roy McKinney. Welcome to the Naked Beech Studio, located in the beautiful hills of Brown County, Indiana. I've been making a specific type of furniture for about 24 years now. However, I've only been making YouTube videos for about 2 days, so bear with me while I try and navigate this thing. I'll see if I can't show you something maybe a little bit different. Stick furniture, primitive furniture, rustic furniture are just some of the names I've heard this type of furniture called over the years. I primarily use beech for all the framework for my furniture. Occasionally use a little red oak, a little walnut, whatever I can get my hands on for the seats. But for the most part, my raw material is beech. If you're not sure what a beech tree is, when you're out in the woods, especially in the winter time, if you're driving by, it's the lonely tree that's left with all its leaves still on the tree. They're dead, they've turned brown, but they refuse to fall off the tree. So all those scattered trees you see throughout the woods that still have their brown leaves on them, those are probably beech trees. Most woodworkers rarely use beech to produce any kind of furniture or product. I'm not sure why. Beech is a very dense, beautiful wood. After it's seasoned, has a bit of a caramel color to it in a lumber form, but it's very hard. I'd say somewhere between walnut and hickory. Harder than walnut, not quite as hard as hickory. But the thing I like about the beech the most is that it has a very thin skin. It has very little sap layer on the outside, so it's hard right from the beginning. It doesn't really peel as easy as a lot of other woods that I've used. Hickory, for instance, peels really nice in the spring. Beech doesn't give up its skin that quick, and a little bit of scraping involved even when the sap's coming up. It finishes really nice, whether you use polyurethane, oil, stain, paint, doesn't matter. It's just a great overall wood to work with. I've made a wide variety of furniture over the years of this style. Made chairs, tables, stands, some cabinets, but chairs has been my real passion. I really enjoy making stick chairs. This style of furniture lends itself well to all sorts of creative ideas you might have. I've used leather. I've made different types of seats and backs. I've incorporated different antiques in certain designs. So it's pretty creative item. You can do a lot of things with it. Even though the materials I use in my furniture are for the most part free, there's a lot of personal investment and time in preparing the sticks in order to be able to use them. You've got to, first of all, you've got to harvest them. You've got to process each limb, decide what limb stays, which limb goes. Get prepared to take it inside your shop. Then, at least in my case, I like to take the bark off, clean it up, get it wiped down good. You don't have to take the bark off. I built a lot of furniture and left the bark on. Has a different look to it. Beech nut tree bark isn't all that attractive. It's not all that exciting. And also, when you leave the bark on, it takes a lot longer to dry. A lot more process in drying, and you have to have a dry stick in order to make a mortise and tenon joint. Of course, having a kiln helps speed the process up and get the sticks prepared to use much quicker than if you just allow them to air dry. If you don't have a kiln, they're pretty easy to build. You can put one together for $100 or less, and you don't have to have one as large as what I've got. Mine takes up a little more space than I really need, but sometimes I'll go on a harvest kick in the spring, and I'd like to pack it full. Building this type of furniture is pretty low tech. It doesn't require a lot to get into it. Most people that have even the most modest workshop probably already have the most of the right tools it would take to build furniture like this. There's a few small things you would have to add, but for the most part, it's pretty inexpensive to get into. It makes it a great hobby. There's money to be made also if that's what your goal is, but primarily it takes very little as far as cash out to build this type of furniture. My wife and I recently built a home in Brown County, Indiana. That gave me an opportunity to scale my shop down, make it much smaller, more efficient to heat. I don't do this for a living, so I really don't need a large shop. I need an efficient shop that doesn't cost a lot to maintain. And since I've scaled back the scope of what I like to make and primarily focus on chairs, maybe an occasional stand, I don't need a lot of space. So I like my little workshop. With the time and energy that I put into each one of my chairs and the uniqueness of each chair, I place a very high value on them. I do sell chairs occasionally. Very few people want to pay what I think they're worth. That's okay. Not everybody should have one. Not everybody wants one. But they are absolutely one of a kind. Not possible to duplicate my chairs. You might make one that looks similar to it, but you won't make one exactly like it. Therefore, I place a very high value on each chair. Most of the Naked Beech chairs that'll be made in my new studio will be donated to charity auctions. I'm a little picky about what auctions I choose, but if you happen to know of a charity auction in Brown County or neighboring counties, please let me know, drop me a line, and I'll see if I can put a chair together for them. So if you like this style of furniture and would like to see more of it, hit the like button, and I'll do a little deeper dive into the next one. I've got one coming up. It's going to be pretty interesting, and I'll get the video done and get it up for you. Anyway, thanks for visiting Naked Beech Studio. See you next time.